Microsoft's new teaser for their new flight simulator has been released, and it's gonna be awesome. Today I'm gonna show you my top 25 comments and concerns about this new flight simulator. Captain Bob, he's my best friend and he should be yours too. So let's start with the positivity, because positivity is always good. So the first thing on the list is how good the clouds are. The clouds are awesome. Like, you can see them, all the development, and it looks good. Hopefully that the real flight simulator is as good as the picture that we saw. That would be really nice. The second thing I noticed was that the gauges looked readable. In the FSX, sometimes you'll kind of look at the gauges and you're not sure if it's a 6 or a 7 or a 22. So it looks really crisp and I'm excited. The third thing was that the flight dynamics, from what I've seen, looked pretty accurate. Or at least for air shows, they look nice and crisp. None of the weird stall and flip out or just come pounding on the ground. It looks fairly accurate. The fourth thing that I noticed was that the lighting was great. You could see the reflections, and when light would get reflected and bounce, and it just looks awesome. Number 5 is the shadows. The shadows look really good. In X-Plane 11, one of the things that gives away the realism is the shadow. Shadows are really hard to cast. Well, they're easy to cast, but they're hard to graphic and create in a simulator, as you have to know a lot of dynamics and how the shadow will be cast to have a realistic shadow that's not pixelated. Number 6. This one's a little tiny. You probably won't notice it, but there are ground people, and that just makes a little bit of a difference. Just a little bit more realistic, and you can totally see that it's helpful, because airports have people. It's kind of their purpose. Number 7 is the animals, which kind of leads me to believe, can you fly into a Cessna? Which is kind of leads me to a question. What happens when you fly into buildings? Because in FSX it would be like 50-50, you'd crash into it or you'd fly through it. So it would be interesting to see if if the models send a message to the flight simulator telling you crashed. Also, does it like explode when you run into it with like a Cessna or the TRD that they show you? Because that would not be pretty. Number 9 is that there are cars and individual highways. That's really good because in FSX all of the cars are just kind of moving and they're not realistic at all. They're like little shoeboxes on wheels. So these look awesome. You can kind of like zoom in and see just how great of the models they're using and how much of an upgrade it'll be. And number 10 is the scenery. The scenery in FS 2020 looks really good. I think there's the pyramids of Giza or whatever, the Alcatraz prison. They should have shown the Roman Colosseum, because that'd be cool. What else is there? There's the elephants. That's not scenery though, and it's just really pretty. Now it's time for me to talk about the things that I'm kind of worried about. The first one is FSUIPC compatibility. I use a program called MobiFlight that lets you, through FSUIPC, take an Arduino with a switch or an encoder or whatever, and then send a signal to FSUIPC, which sends a signal to the Arduino, which sends somehow to FSX. And I really like that, and I'd really like it to stay. They'll probably update it, so it'll hopefully work. The third issue is VR flying. A lot of people like to have their big headsets and look around. Adds a lot of realism, but since VR is very demanding and FSX 2020 is going to be very demanding, I don't know how they're going to make it work. They'll probably have to compromise on quality if you like adjust the settings to make that work. So you'll either need a good computer or low settings. The third one is tutorials. If the tutorials are not as good or better than FSX, FSX 2020 FS 2020 will probably not have as much retention or growth, because a lot of people really need those basic landing takeoff tutorials that I don't really feel X-Plane really gives. So I'm really looking for those in FS 2020. I'm gonna call it that. Number 4 for the hate is lack of airplanes. With FSW, there were like 4 airplanes it came with. That was not enough. I didn't buy it because it didn't look worth it. But like FSX gives you about 20 planes. You can pick and choose. You can fly the Cessna, the Boeing, the Airbus, the off-brand helicopter, or the glider. The possibilities are pretty much endless as long as you have add-ons, which brings me to number 5, which is the lack of compatibility with add-ons. I would love to use some of my not very good add-ons with FSX 2020 or whatever, because it just would let me fly my favorite airplanes, but in the new simulator. Of course, it wouldn't quite match the default planes, but it would still be super cool, and I would love it to do that. The next one, which is 6, is system demand. This one's going to be pretty hard to do. It has to be run on an Xbox 360, so I don't know if they're going to compromise quality with settings and reality. So it'll be a little bit interesting to see how they play it out. I know they're using AI, so that'll probably not make you model everything, but it'll be interesting. We'll figure it out. Number 7 for the hate club is price. A lot of simulators that are high quality are like $200 or however much. Like Prepared comes with a subscription, I think, and some people don't like that. I think FS 2020 could come with a subscription,
Played with Xbox
but there's
Game Pass.
also apparently going to be an out-of-the-box cost, so it's all just up somewhere here where we're going to figure it out in the near future. But it would really drive away a lot of customers if they marked the price too high, because a lot of customers came to FSX because it was low priced, lower than X-Plane, I think. Number 8 is updates. If they're going to do this and then not have another update for 20 years, FS 2040 maybe happens. But it would really be nice to have a bunch of updates, like maybe bi-yearly, every other year at least, to kind of keep it alive and not fall behind the competition. So it would be really good if they can figure out how to make updates. Number 9 is multiplayer. It would be really nice to have a good multiplayer with a very nice ATC. I assume they'll make it this way, but they might just get rid of it. Who knows? It's all up to people. So it would be really nice to have a good multiplayer with high quality and good information stuff. If they don't, that would be bad, because people like flying together. And number 10 is ATC. Good old turn left, November 704 Charlie Kilo. Contact Denver Tower on 121.5. You are next to the Learjet. On departure. Good day. Good old default ATC. That's why people use VATSIM, because it is not too good. Of course, they have figured out more talking techniques with AI and stuff since the FSX. So hopefully this will be kind of like Siri, where it'll be all nice and fluid and that. I think it would be super cool if they added in like accents from like around the world. Like New York would have the Tracon accent with the go left and right, and then Texas would have the like y'all go right or whatever, and then people in like other countries could have their native dialect, or at least accent, not dialect, probably not, I don't know. I think it would be super cool if they added in that ATC, which brings me to my next series of 5 things that are my ideas for FS 2020. Take notes, engineers. Number 1, I would really love to have a pizza delivery mission. You could like even get rights with Toy Story, have a Pizza Planet, Cessna 172, take off, deliver the pizza, fly back, and what? And you could even have like pizza lights and logo lights with pizza, 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 and it'd be so cool. I think that would be awesome. My second idea is realistic crashes. So if like you strike your wing, I think that the wing should like bend, or even if it's hard enough, maybe pop off, I don't know. Probably not that, but who knows. So that would be really cool and really accurate, because if you do a hard landing and your gear collapse, that is not a complete failed airplane. You're still living, but it's pretty out there. And number 3 is a in-game airplane creator. So you'd like, it's kind of like Kerbal Space Program. You just like put a bunch of things together and come out with an airplane that may or may not fly. I don't know, just an idea. And you could download the file, send it through email to another friend, and then have them upload it and onto FSX, and they can fly it. And it'd just be super simple because it's only one little file with a code or whatever. And now number 4, which is probably not my idea, but if you got the airlines to fight over who puts their livery on their jets, you could probably make a ton of money, which would fund the development, and then you'd get airlines competitively wanting your FSX. So you could be like, okay, American, Delta, Southwest, there are 3 of you and 2 airplanes, fight for the best. And then whoever wants the brand, instead of paying, they like get paid. So that would work and be like free advertising. And now I have my idea number 5, which is minigames. I think it would be super cool if you could like somehow make a minigame and then like click it, and then you drive the pushback truck and you'd be like, oh, 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 and it's going you like, and it would be fun, and you could like see kind of how to do it, because you never get a sight of how to taxi or how to push back an airplane. You just press the button. So I think it'd be fun to do that, and a fuel truck, and you would use the stick as a steering wheel, because yoke is kind of like that, and then you could just do fun with the mini games, and it would be awesome. So you could have mini games like pushback tractor, food truck, jet fueler, and the jetway. So you can like, and then try to not break the airplane. So these are my 25 ideas and comments, concerns about FS 2022. I am super excited, and I'll probably buy it if it's cool.
November 704 Charlie Kilo, contact Denver departure on 121.5, squawk 7600.